Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Good morning from beautiful Northport, Florida. I had a customer contact me a week or so ago, had a 2001 Winnebago Adventurer. Said the air unit was not cooling correctly, had a compressor that was locked up. They're from Arizona, getting ready to head back to Arizona. So ordered them a brand new unit. And let me show you what we found. Here's a unit that came out of this. Now this is a 17 model air conditioner, so it's not terribly old, but took all the covers off and got the look in. Look what we found. Compressor one is locked up, but see that right there? That has rubbed a hole in the tubing right there, and all the freon's gone out of that ruined compressor one. So yeah, I got the new unit. I took it apart. We updated the outdoor bearing. I double checked for all that stuff that goes on there. I've already got the unit in here, but let me show you what we got on differential temperatures, because this one here is awesome. That right there is 30-degree differential. That one there is rolling. That ductwork's awesome. This thing is really kicking right now. So gonna do a test in generator just to verify the generator does run it, because the customer was complaining the generator wasn't running this unit. Obviously with a burned up compressor it wouldn't have been, but we're gonna test with the generator now and then let it run and tell them to come get it. All right, got that one running on generator. Yeah, still 30-degree differential, so that one there is rolling. So they're on their way back to Arizona. So yeah, that one ought to be able to keep up, should be able to keep up pretty good out there in the hot sun. So there you go, safe travels. All right, so I had a 6537 come in from Chattanooga last week, and I should have done a video on it, but I was busy with a bunch of other stuff. Now, this one had a compressor one that was bad. And it looked like the reversing valve had a little issue also, so I changed compressor one, compressor two, put a new compressor number two, and I'm gonna take you out here and show you here in a second. I put a new reversing valve in this thing. This thing's awesome, but I want to kind of show you what I was seeing here, because I really didn't find a leak other than when I got to looking at the compressor. Like, here's the compressor. Let me show you this. The other compressor was that way or worse. So a lot of rot coming across there. I mean, it just was coming apart. So we went ahead and changed both compressor one and compressor two. So yeah, I just updated both compressors because it was really, I mean, the stuff was starting to flake on the bottom. It was really a bad shape. And it was low on Freon when I got into it. So we just went ahead and updated both compressors. Reversing valve on compressor one, and I did update both biflow valves and then washed and cleaned it. But this one had 34-degree differential in cool, so this one was pretty awesome. So gonna put the cover back on this one. I got this one sold to a guy up in northern part of Florida, so he's coming by this morning to pick that one up. But yeah, this is a good running unit. This next project here in the shop is this Winnebago Journey that should originally had a 6538 in it, and obviously somebody has taken the 6538 out and has put a newer unit in here. But yeah, customer complaint is the unit does not cool correctly, and all the restrictions that we've got going on here, it's no wonder that it's not. I mean, we see this all the time. These people try to get the quick buck and they just don't install it right. So we're gonna be pulling that one out. I've got the new ductwork sitting here ready to go. I was showing the customer how this is gonna work out, because this is the only way you can do this correctly. But we got to get the unit out, we got to get the coil modified, and then we'll get all that installed, and we'll get this one where it's actually cooling correctly. I got the unit out of here, and you can see what they tried to do. I had to go in here and clean all this up, but it's kind of interesting that they left all the bracketry loose with all the screws hanging in there. You know, that could fall out. But yeah, a little bit of shoddy work here. But yeah, I did a bunch of foam work there. We got a new transition for that. But yeah, foamed it all out. Here's the back of the unit. Of course, this was all squished off across the top. I mean, just a restriction of airflow there. So yeah, we're gonna get all this tore apart, cleaned up, and then we'll start working on the new ductwork. So when the customer showed up yesterday, they turned this unit on, and I did not hear the outdoor fan running. Now, I got underneath it and tried to flip it, so I assumed there was a problem with either the bearing or the motor. But look at this. The fan's all rubbed up against the housing. Look at that right there. The other thing is look here. Somebody has put clamp-on taps on here, and I guarantee you what they were doing, because this was not working correctly, and this is all that you had for return. I guarantee you, because it wasn't cooling correctly, they thought the charge was incorrect in the system, and that's why they came in here and started putting taps on here and playing with the charge, was because they didn't understand that the return was not installed correctly and it wasn't pulling air back. And it didn't have nothing to do with the charge more than it had to do with the installation was incorrect. So we're gonna go in here. Obviously we got some things we gotta do here. We definitely gotta pull the charge out of this system because we do have to modify this coil, and then we're gonna fix these the right way. You heard me talk in other videos about this is a bad deal. This is not the way to do this. And then we're gonna resolve this and retest this fan motor, because obviously that's a problem. And then we'll get the ductwork installed the right way. But yeah, this was a hatchet job is what this was. Okay, so we got the modification done. I got the coil modified, put braze-on taps on everything. Now, look at this. This is what somebody had put on here. Look at this versus what we did. And we wonder why it wasn't breathing air. I mean, this is the reason why I say, guys, this stuff don't work, because you can't choke it down with that and expect it to work. You can see how much more airflow we're getting right here. These numbers are awesome. This thing's actually over 40-degree differential coming out of that. But yeah, it's all ready. I just got to go out here and modify, clean all the mess up that they did, and then get that discharge put back in there, and then we'll be ready to install this one. All right, so got the unit all finished up and reinstalled in there. You can see it's already running water real good. Let's go in here and see what kind of temperatures we got. So I've got my thermometer sitting right there, 82 and 53. So yeah, that rascal is really doing good. That's that one's rolling pretty good. I mean, it was obviously, you saw what was going on there. It was definitely, again, it's not installed right, and this is what we ended up dealing with. But yeah, that one there is cranking. So whole different animal right there now. So they're very happy, and they're heading on down the road. Well, good morning. I got this little Winnebago Minnie Winnie in here that's having some air conditioner trouble. And I've already looked at it and determined that it does have a low charge, but I'm gonna take you up here and show you what I'm seeing. So let's climb up here now and take a look at this. So you see I've got the cover off here. Now, according to the data tag, this is a 17 model air conditioner. So this should be the original unit that was on this coach from the factory. But here's what we got going on for amp draws. So 6.61. So we know the compressor is running, but when I tested everything in there, I had no differential temperature. Now, look at the capillary tube. This is the capillary tube coming up to that right there. So usually when these units are low on Freon, what residual is still running through there, the capillary is freezing up. Now, the one thing that I'm seeing that's very suspicious, and this may have had a reason why this thing over a matter of time has failed. Look at this right here. Now, this is from the screw that holds the cover on, but that's obviously been down in there, possibly doing some damage. So that's right on top of that coil. So it's possible that that coil has leaked out the Freon right there, but you can see how the ice is building now across there. That's just the residual from what's left in the system. But yeah, there's absolutely no temperature whatsoever except for right here. The rest of this is just warm. So the other thing that we saw in this when we started this up is this motor is roaring real loudly. So obviously outdoor motor bearings have got a problem, but yeah, this unit's just out of charge. So I'm gonna look at getting him a price to replace this unit. All right, so there you see that air conditioner has definitely got a problem. So we're gonna get him changed out with a brand new one and get him on his way. But there you go. That'll finish us up here this week in Northport, Florida. I really don't have much going on down here next week, but the week after that, we're going to be back up in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Got a couple Prevost buses we got to be up there to work on. So we'll be up there in 2 weeks. So see you there back in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great week. Take care.